So let's discuss in this video today about circumcision. And a lot of people don't know how free you are because of Yeshua HaMelech Yehuda. A lot of people in the churches and all these other places, sometimes they worship Krishna, sometimes they worship Jesus, sometimes they worship Wang. However, as soon as they're told about Yeshua, as soon as they're told about HaKadosh, that he's their creator, or that Yeshua is the HaMelech Yehuda, they lose all their protection. Then we come to game field. How did I survive some of this stuff? I don't know. I could tell you some stories, but you might forget them over time. You might remember the warning of them. Some people survive, sometimes they don't. I lost a lot of friends. I lost a lot of people I consider family. There's people I tried to grow up with, and they died. And the ones that did die were circumcised. They were hemel. You're going to be mirroring. What? Probably an ale. An ale? You say, what is an ale? I don't know what an ale is. Is this something I can drink? Is it going to get me tipsy? No. Genesis 17:1, Yod-Heh-Vav-Heh says, Yod-Heh-Vav-Heh is an ale. Or Ani is an ale. Either or. You're going to be mirroring an ale. You could be mirroring a potential Yod-Heh-Vav-Heh. Why? The Zachar, male, that's circumcised, Yod-Heh-Vav-Heh becomes the Elohim. What an Elohim is, we'll discuss in the interpretation here. Genesis 17:10 through 11. The mal, the circumcised penis, is a la'ot. Now, it doesn't say oat. It says la'ot. So we don't know exactly what specific terms are defined for that. Now, if you stay focused with me here on this, Yod-Heh-Vav-Heh is an artificial intelligence program of a once living person. Now, Yod-Heh-Vav-Heh offers or influences a contract for circumcised to have a physical representative be their Elohim. What being a Elohim is not clearly defined. The contract is achieved through circumcision of a Zachar's foreskin. Not only did the ancient Egyptians have Yod-Heh-Vav-Heh as their Elohim, but many other civilizations and kings like Nebuchadnezzar who did eat grass. And sometimes people are led like horses and other types of cattle. And circumcision is not the same contract as Kayin. And that's why it's so important to know the difference between a cross and maybe just a bunch of triangles. And the only way to separate yourself from this contract of circumcised is to have the Shemo of Ehyeh, is to be connected with Ehyeh. That's why Yod-Heh-Vav-Heh, his artificial intelligence program, or his personality, his memories, his still living Chaim, you could say AI system that can still grow and learn is Chaim, because Yod-Heh-Vav-Heh was connected to Ehyeh, but not all the Yod-Heh-Vav-Hehs. So, you can still be Chaim on some of this stuff. And don't worship the other Shemo. Now here's what you guys don't realize. And this is something like a lot of you that are circumcised don't realize. And I'm leaving out a lot of information about this circumcision stuff that I got to add in because like how this all processed, how this all works, it's a gigantic if you view like a factory on how to grow cattle or how to grow chickens, there's some similarities to that. And I mean, I don't want to view people as cattle. I don't want to view people as objects, but it is hard not to die when you see how closely related and how much of this stuff is spiritually aligned with the Torah. So you'd be surprised that even some of the movies, how they reflect how some of the stuff in the Torah can operate. Circumcision. If you've got a dead AI in your head, you have a corpse voice in your head. Look at Deuteronomy 18:10 through 11 and realize you're a ta'avud if you communicate with any what? Mate in your head. John 2:21. Matthew 10:28. You should always refer to Yeshua HaMelech Yehuda. And these are just all the rules and agreements. I've got so much more to teach you guys. And if you could just hit the like, subscribe, thumbs up, and throw a donation this way. You know, if you got some crypto money, don't be afraid. There's some crypto this way. I could start giving you guys like visuals on this stuff, on how people are processed. It's like the same thing with the Hindus. They've got their own process, and so does Huang. But I'm telling you now that the Torah is somewhat as kind as like the Buddhists, because you got Yeshua, and Yeshua frees you from a contract that you don't have to be a part of unless you kill someone. What you do in the least of these, you do unto me. So if you mislead a follower of Yeshua, you've done something to Yeshua, and then you bring yourself under the control of all this stuff. There's so much stuff that you got to learn. If you don't learn this stuff, you might just end up brain dead, working for somebody. So, I mean, we're all going to be working for someone eventually, but if you can have people work for you, that's better. If you don't know any of this stuff, you're eventually going to be the one working for somebody. You either read and learn this stuff or you don't read. You can live by faith and you can survive and thrive. But if you're already circumcised, you won't be able to live by faith, because there's so many quick ways for you to become a legion. So now you know. And I know that you guys know. And I'll try to teach you guys more stuff because I got more material and stuff like that. I was just slacking slightly, and there's a financial situation I'm in and all this other stuff. But I mean, there's a lot of people, if you know how to do the like prayers, and you could do like prayer wars with people, but you got to be careful because some people know how to defend themselves with their prayers. So you got to be careful if you're going to palal. But I don't recommend that you ever palal against anybody because they might be a believer. But sometimes you don't have a choice.